Talking about the amendments to the Labour Relations Act, the bulk of which came into being January this year, and we've been discussing some of those issues, and we've got a couple of more questions from the floor, and then we'll look at some of your Twitter questions as well. Let's start on table number 10 with Andrew Goldberg.
Thank you. I'm from Goldberg Attorneys. I'd just like to ask a question of the DG and the Minister. The future of labour broker, is that over or not over? And the second question is, surely the government, as the biggest labour broker in this country, is going to have problems in the future. Thank you.
Okay, so is government a labour broker? All right, maybe just get some clarity. How is government a labour broker?
Government's a labour broker the government's a labour broker because it employs people for 3 months and then the job's over. They employ through labour brokers people. Consultants to governments and consultants to different people.
Okay.
In that regard. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So you are also part of this drama.
No. We just when we were working on these legislations, and I think that's a point that was made earlier on that in trying to strike the balance, between what the organized labor wanted in terms of the total banning of the labor brokers and what at the end we came up with, which is the regulation of the industry. So the industry, the labor broking industry can continue to exist because it has not been totally banned. All what we've done is we put regulations in place to deal with the abuses that were there in the past. Hopefully, they will not continue. So there's work that they still have to do. I know that in certain quarters, especially the organized labor, they are calling for a total ban. And also, you would have noted that government is now insisting that we should, in as much as we can use consultants, but the rate at which we're now using consultants is going down. Because the point we're trying to make is that in some instances we do have the capacity and the competencies to do the work that the consultants are doing. So there will be a scaling down of the use of consultants drastically if government has its way. Yeah.
Okay. Minister, you happy? You don't want to add to that?
The manifesto of the ANC is very clear about the issue of labor broking because it says we have to deal with the exploitation of workers through labor broking. And that's what we're dealing with. When it comes to the issues of the consultants, yes, the government has taken a decision that departments must reduce or stop using consultants, precisely because there are officials that are employed for those specific jobs. And therefore, the first probably employer that we have to monitor and inspect is the very same government, because when it comes to the inspection, we do both public and private. So government is one of the employers that we are going to inspect, but at the same time, we're also going to target private sector as well, because we know which are the biggest companies that are exploiting the workers through labor broking. Thank you very much.
Okay. Table number 3, Sizwe Square.
Thanks, Peter. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm sorry I've got a bad voice.
Oh, no, it's very interesting. I'm sure you could have a career in broadcasting.
My boss is worried. I'm currently on probation. She thought I'm going to ask about probation. My question is around interpretation of Section 143 to the CCMA director. I'm from the Bargaining Council, GPSSBC. For the past 9 years as a case management officer in Bargaining Council, we've been bombarded by the number of non-implementation of arbitration award, specifically by state department. You find out there's no finality in dispute because you've got this applicant arbitration award which the employer is not complying or implementing. But I know there are amendments on Section 143, and my question is whether is now the amendment made easy for an ordinary applicant to be able to enforce his or her arbitration award. And also I need the interpretation around certification, whether bargaining council general secretaries still have powers to certify bargaining council arbitration award. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So powerful points there.
Certainly,
Okay.
Peter, and very technical questions, but a very, very important question. The challenge that was identified in the process is that while the CCMA and maybe with the Department of Labour and bargaining councils may deliver quick, speedy dispute resolution, and an arbitration award would be issued in a very short time, then if an employer fails to comply with that award, what is the challenge for the worker? Because the way that it historically was set up, that you would have to go to the labour court and a process in relation to that. That was partly addressed by previous amendments, but now it's been addressed even further. And there are two issues that I think are very important to convey. And that is firstly that your arbitration award can be certified through the CCMA process, and we try and do that as quickly and effectively as possible. But much more importantly, that the law also empowers the CCMA insofar as assisting to a certain degree workers to enforce those awards. And we've certainly set up in our front desk, in our offices, the capacity, if you earn below the threshold that I mentioned earlier, that you would be able to come to the CCMA as a worker, indicate that you are unable to pay for the service, unable to deal with the process, and the CCMA has actually set up a process that would assist you. What is mostly problematic is that workers are unable to enforce their awards because they get enforced through the sheriff of the court. The sheriffs of the court are an independent organisation, and they might not be as flexible and amenable to just acting on the behalf of an employee without any kind of security. Now, the problem is that if you're a dismissed worker, you don't actually have the money to pay for the security. So together with the Department of Labour, we've come with a very innovative solution. We've set up in a sort of trust account way, which you would do as an attorney, a certain amount of money which would be there, and the CCMA is going to give a kind of guarantee to the sheriffs to support workers and assist them to try and affect and make sure that they get responses in relation to the awards. Obviously, the money is not just for free, that if you get the money back, you'd have to pay in and all things like that, but that's been worked in relation to that.
All right, fantastic. Okay, we're going to take another quick break, and then after that, I'd like to hear from the National Council of Trade Unions. We've got the General Secretary in the audience. Stay with us for that.